Okay, just coming in about 20 minutes ago, breaking news, Nigeria's capital importation numbers for the third quarter, July to September 2019, is now out on the street. That figure went down 7.7% according to the Statistics Office. The figure printed $5.36 billion for the period under review. The FDI size of that went down 10.2%. Foreign portfolio inflows was 30.1% of total, and other investments portfolio about 66.2%. Nigeria's capital importation fell 7.7% for the third quarter. Okay, let's get a sense of what's happening today. If you hail riding Uber in the UK, today is a decision day on whether these hail riding services will be allowed to continue to do business in the city of London. Juliana Olayinka, I'm sure, is one of those who hail rides in the city of London, so she understands what this would mean for Uber and other hail riding services. Hail, Juliana, bring it here. Good morning, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bosun. How are you? Let's just quickly go into it. Uber, as you said, very popular, the biggest hail riding application in the world. They have a last-minute battle with Transport for London. Transport for London are the governing body who look after the transport system in the UK. They're trying to convince those bosses, and they've got until midnight tonight to do so, that, you know, they're a changed application, that they've listened to concerns not that have just happened in the UK, but across the world. Uber over the past couple of years have been involved in some scandals, some of them more serious than others, including sexual assault and not having drivers that are properly vetted. Now, this long-running battle between TfL and Uber has been going on for a couple of years. They actually lost their license in 2017. They appealed and they got the license back. TfL gave Uber a very short stint, 15 months, which does expire tonight, and they're hoping that it will be renewed. Of course, in that time, since Uber has had these troubles, there have been various other competitors, including Bolt, which I know a lot of your viewers use in Nigeria. They've come onto the market and they've been adding lots of promotions and discounts. So, you know, even though London is a very lucrative market for Uber, you know, competition is rife. So they'll be praying and hoping that this new license is renewed this evening.
Very, very interesting. There, of course, Uber are facing some regulatory issues, Taxify and others. I'm sure they're making a very quick gain while Uber tries to sort out its licensing or registration with the authorities. If I'm in the business, I'm going to do the same thing. But again, let's talk about the elections just before we forget and all of that and get to business. The elections, December 12th, is still a big one. Why is the health sector, and in particular the NHS, why is this such a big story in the run-up to these elections? What's the big deal?
That for this particular election, Brexit is the most polarizing issue, but the NHS is a key campaign electoral battleground. It is in this election, it has been for the past 50 or 60 years. The National Health Service is really a symbolic organisation that shows the world just how much the UK cares for its citizens. It's been going for about 70 years, and it is the UK's biggest employer. It employs over 1.5 million people. It is one of the largest employers in the world. And of course, it has been doing a fantastic job over these years, because the life expectancy for an individual in the UK is about 80 years of age, which is overwhelmingly high. And they've been treating people for decades for free. And it has traditionally been a Labour safe hold. It was a Labour Minister of Health who opened the NHS in the 40s. And so Labour feel as if since, you know, the Conservatives have been in power, they've really, left it to go to disarray. You know, the UK has a very aging population, and it costs a lot of money to look after the elderly. It also costs a lot of money to look after staff who believe they're overworked. So, you know, the NHS it affects each and every individual in the UK. It's something everybody here is proud of. And of course, because of that, Boris Johnson and the Conservative Party are really trying to do their best to show the constituents and to show the population that they do want to look after it. That, the Conservative reputation of trying to privatise and trying to get cheap labour in the NHS is an old myth. And yes, so that's what Boris Johnson is trying to do. And that's why the NHS has always been a key factor when people are going out and ticking their ballot boxes.
I understand. Health is wealth. If you fix health, like we're trying to wrap our head around it here, then you fix a lot when it comes to your economy, whether the aged, those who are still the middle years, or those who are young coming through, or even primary health care, as it were. It's all about health is wealth. Thank you so much, Juliana. But finally, I'm sure you women won't miss this big story when it comes to the high street, the world of fashion and luxury goods. Why are you smiling? You have an idea what this is all about, isn't it? But this is big business, and I follow the money, just the way I follow what you call the lipstick index by Bloomberg. But that's a discussion for another day. Maybe we'll talk about that on February 12th, the lipstick index. But today it's about Tiffany & Co. combining business with LVMH. Sometimes I get these things confused, but again, this is $16 billion. What's in it for you? I'm sure you're interested.
$16 billion. I'm interested because of the word Tiffany, and $16.6 billion is actually the largest takeover for a luxury company. LVMH is Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. They're the French brand. Of course, everybody should know Tiffany's. Tiffany's is an American jeweler brand that's been going for over 100 years and is famous for their duck egg blue box and their beautiful jewelry inside it. LVMH have, they've bought out the company. Both companies have announced that yes, the deal is going ahead. About a month ago, LVMH put a bid through of about $16 billion. Shareholders weren't happy, so they upped it by over $600 million. And they've got this brand. LVMH are really trying to expand into more jewelry. A lot of people have raised eyebrows. They think that Tiffany is an ancient brand, that it's aging, and they're not sure why they would want to put all this money into an aging business. But, last year alone, their revenues was about $4.4 billion. And this is Tiffany I'm talking about. It was 1% decrease from the last year, but, they're still earning a lot of money. And if this deal can be signed off just before Christmas, then I'm sure LVMH will be, very happy indeed. And yes, that duck egg blue box will be around for many more years to come.
You talking like someone who knows the brand inside out. I'm sure you've used it a lot. But I look at LVMH as a company that's also into this Moet Hennessy thing, which is a very popular drink here in Nigeria, making big brands. Some folks in Nigeria's musical videos showing Hennessy and Moet and all of that. So it looks like this is all in the box. But again, I'm sure the stock market will be interested because this is coming at about $135 per share. That's a big business, isn't it? That's a whole lot of money per share.
It's absolutely a whole lot of money, and we've been seeing that a lot of brands are trying to refashion themselves. We saw Coty. Look at what Coty did with Kylie Jenner, and Coty is a really old business, and they saw what social media was doing with the Jenner brand, and they've bought it. It's almost the reverse with LVMH and Tiffany, but Tiffany is a brand name that everybody knows, even if you can't afford those beautiful jewels and earrings, you do know the brand. So it seems it's a good deal, and it'll be interesting to see just how their shares will rise at intraday when America wake up.
Yeah, I'm sure Chimeze Obiwa will be interested in that. You ladies just sit around this show in the afternoon today, 1:30, have a lot of time. Let me see some Tiffany here, if possible. And here, I'm going to tell Chimeze when I'm out of the studios here. You folks have a great time in the afternoon. I'll be watching you guys over lunch. Thank you, Juliana, business correspondent out of London studios. And that's about all for today. I'll see you again tomorrow, the big day for Nigeria's final rate decision in 2019. I am Bosin Namofaye. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then.